And so the quote today that we're working with is, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all other things will be added unto you." But if you read the preamble to that, basically Jesus is saying, don't worry too much about your body. Don't worry too much about the things you have. Don't worry about how you look so much. Don't worry about that. Pay attention to the things that endure once the body is gone. Once the body has left, what is left? That's what you should pay attention to. And for God, for Jesus, God was a way of saying that. Or for others, it is your soul. Or for some, they may think of it as consciousness that travels from body to body. But essentially, one of the things we're talking about here is something that cannot be seen. Something that endures that is not visible. Something that is real about you that you cannot see. It says essentially, let that be a priority rather than the things that are temporal, because they don't last. So what's really real about us is what's permanent. And so what would be real about us would be our souls or our spirits or our consciousness. It's through the mind, of course, that you're going to know most of this. That if the mind is habituated toward worrying about things of this world, it cannot receive that which is transcendent. This soul is just what you have cultivated over and over. That's what you're left with. That's what transmigrates in the reincarnation conversation. Transmigrates from this body to the next is that which you have cultivated over time. And so if you cultivate over time worries about the world and your body and your place in the world, if that's all you cultivate, that's what you're going to inherit when you reincarnate. And you may reincarnate every time you wake up. It's another way of thinking of it. You inherit tomorrow what you have thought about today. You inherit next year what you thought about this year, and you become a habit. So the present moment offers one thing. It offers us a chance to be still in the mind. To be still in the mind is to not be running the habit. Because you move into the place where a higher level of awareness can drop in when the mind is quieter. It's part of the reason we spend time in meditation here every Sunday. It's part of the reason we recommend that people practice meditation. And if you've ever tried to do meditation, you go, I just can't do it. My mind just kicks up when I start to meditate. The very likelihood is that your mind was already going and you just stopped long enough to notice. And that monkey mind is what you're dealing with on a 24/7 experience. And so that habit of being a monkey mind needs to be broken if you wish to find a way to go deeper. Which is why we meditate, not just for itself, but for the ability to allow us to be receptive and quiet enough that we can bring in thoughts that are not triggered by the mundane experience we're in. They can have some transcendence to them. That's why we do the meditation thing. It's also why we would do affirmations and denials, because affirmations and denials are about breaking the habit of our mind as it once was. We don't usually do affirmations about things that are really going well in our life. We do affirmations and denials to correct the habit of thought. We replace it with a better habit, which allows a greater sense of peace, which allows the stillness to come in, which allows us to draw upon the divine ideas instead of on the mundane ideas, and we move on to another level. And one of the things about seeking the kingdom of heaven is that you're seeking yourself to bring yourself out of the data points simply as life is in the body and move to the higher frequency and grander thoughts of the divine, which in unity we call divine ideas. Divine ideas are the ideas that God would think. Whatever she's doing, she's having really good ideas. Nice ideas. Whole, complete, full. So abundance is a divine idea. Love is a divine idea. Generosity is a divine idea. That second part of that phrase is, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, all things will be added unto you. When the mind is clear and heaven is here, you begin the vibration of heaven. You begin to experience the heaven on earth here, in this experience here, which is then allowing you this vibratory habit to vibrate like heaven. And what does the practice of vibrating like heaven bring to you? All things according to heaven, not according to your habits. So you have changed your habits, and you have become heaven on earth. And then heaven on earth seeks you out. You may have difficulties. You may be sad. You may be lonely even. You may have, but you're beginning to vibrate like heaven. Heaven is here when the mind is clear. Heaven is here when the mind is clear. And it is not merely a habituated repetition of what has happened to and through you before, but it is a new possibility. And it draws to it new possibilities. And you can experience all that you need by being involved with the divine rather than running your program that you thought you needed to do to make it so. But when we leave the definition of us being just a body and we become a spirit, we become the spaciousness for anything to happen.